Coin traders, what's going on? How we doing? Thanks for joining me for the show. Looking at Algorand ALGO on the ticker, still in this overall longer little bull flag type pattern. And the interesting thing about it right now is that if we actually zoom in on the recent days, what we have is we have bullish day, we have 2 bearish days, 1 bullish day, 2 bearish days, 1 bullish day, 2 bearish days, and now we are on another bullish day. So let's see how long this pattern actually continues. One of the things we actually had happen yesterday, which unfortunately to see, was actually the bears did form a close below this 12-period exponential moving average. Not a big deal right now because the bulls have reclaimed it and pretty much rejected any low. But right now for this flag, we're actually looking at a low right now of 21.82. So still holding a very nice bull flag type pattern, which does still have a lot of upside potential to ultimately target the 30, probably the 28-cent range and above. So if we actually draw a flag stem or flag pole rather on the current move, we actually look from the bottom to the height and then basically extrapolate this from the breakout, that would put us up to about the 30-cent target. Realistically, more likely to be the 28, but so the 28 to 30-cent zone would be the upside target if in fact we do get a bull break from this flag. So that is the caveat. We obviously have to have that bull break, and still always possible to have a bear break. Right now, though, we would be looking at downside support, not too much lower than where we're at right now for the low, pretty much coming at 21.62 there. Now, still very bullish formation on this overall daily chart. As you can see, still holding very nice support above the 12 and 26 period EMAs right now. So every time we have actually seen prices go down below this very nice dip line in between this zone. So extremely nice bullish structure showing a very solid trend to the upside. So still like to see it, and that's why we do lean a little bit more of a bullish breakout favoritism compared to a little bit more of that pullback and retracement. Now, we are still looking at prices for the crypto space kind of being in limbo right now as we do wait on the January 8th or January 10th anticipated date for a Bitcoin ETF announcement. And yeah, that we could expect that to be a sell the news event. I do think that we might get a little bit of a pump, but then probably a pretty quick retracement after that, since a lot of that is priced in already. And a lot of the hype and speculation has been priced in based on the anticipation of that ETF announcement coming in. Now, I do want to flip over here into the 2-day chart and specifically talk about the 12-period EMA. So as you can see on all the recent attempts, we actually had a backtest and touch off of this 12-period exponential moving average, especially after we did get this nice bullish cross on these exponential moving averages for this 2-day. So still could end up seeing a little bit of period of retracement like we were talking about, ultimately allowing a kickoff and test of this before we get the next leg and break out to the upside. But we could end up seeing a spike. As you can see, we are getting decreasing bearish volume over the last few 2-day bar periods. So we are seeing a sell down and slowing and selling pressure, which does mean the less likelihood of a continued pullback for the longer term, especially when we are holding a little bit more of these longer supports, pretty much coming just below the 22-cent level. Do want to pull up the technical indicators right now, specifically RSI, talk about a lower high coming in for the relative strength index. Meanwhile, we do have higher highs in price, so we are getting that bearish divergence here coming in. So this is applicable on the longer term charts right now, 2-day, and as you can see on the daily as well, also looking at lower highs coming in. And then also this stochastic RSI oscillator is trending to the downside, but that does mean that the likelihood of a bottom and a bullish cross does start to increase the likelihood and pressure of a little bit more upside bullish direction here in that instance. Now, if we do want to talk about some upside resistances here for Algorand, going to be looking at pretty much right around the 24-cent line, since that's the period that we haven't had any bullish closes on top of yet. We've had several times where the price has rallied above that. So very strong resistance level for the close on the daily. So if we do actually see a bullish break on this flag pattern, then we would actually need to see a bullish break, topping out a new trend high, which right now would come on top of 25.32 cents. A back test of this 24-cent level, and then we would be on our way then to the upside, probably looking at that 28 and 30-cent target here. Do want to drop into some of the shorter time frames right now, specifically looking at the 4-hour chart. Very nice level of closing support and defense coming at 22.1. To the upside, though, we are still going to be looking right around the 24-cent level, actually at about 24.07. So plenty of periods where we haven't seen a close on the 4-hour as well. So any potential upside would need to see a bullish break and close on top of 24. And like we mentioned, another back test would be a very strong instance of Algorand pulling back and retracing, confirming this very big flag support, and then being on our way to the upside once again. Right now, though, looking to the downside, looking at a very strong defense coming in at 22.1. So as we can see several times, the price did get below that, but bulls were buying the dip, maintaining a close on top of that level. So very strong right now. And if we do see a bullish break and a bear close below that, then that's pretty much going to be a downside signal. And then we will look to test previous resistance coming in at about 21.65. So very strong zone here. So we are going to be looking at pretty much a tight range for Algorand. And we do have to see whether one of these levels will break in order to confirm a longer term direction. If these supports do end up breaking, then we would be looking at downside longer EMA support targets. And then likely in that instance, we will be able to confirm that a trend high and top is coming in. And that will be looking at a little bit longer consolidation and retracement on the longer term charts. Do want to flip over here really quick to Twitter or X, talk about a quick post that I made today since it is the 31st, and essentially today is the last day to lock in any sort of trades that you are down on a position for. Now, there isn't a wash trade rule, so you can actually lock in that loss and then repurchase those assets as well if you choose to do so. So whether or not you choose to do that, it might be worth the tax strategy for a little bit of tax loss harvesting there. So I do post a lot of great general discussion about not only tax loss harvesting, but all things crypto and Algorand specifically too over on Twitter. So if you're not following me, drop me a follow at coin_trades over on Twitter, or X is the handle. Looking forward to chatting with everyone over there. Okay, so now I do want to flip over to the 4-day really quick before we wrap up and talk about the current pattern, because we're looking at setting up a little bit more of a longer term cup and handle pattern. So if we do get a further retracement or even a pullback that could align with these exponential moving averages, be that nice downside target to confirm that handle and then be back on our way. If that is a pattern that plays out, then essentially we can look at a target from the bottom of the bull to the top of the cup, and that essentially is the upside target on a breakout. So we would be looking at over the 35-cent mark at about 37 cents. So looking left, big period of resistance coming in for this longer term chart. So essentially we got above it a few times, but also we know that on some of the longer terms, that's going to be a period of rejection. So flipping over, for example, into the weekly, still not quite, but anyway, yeah, looking up to about 37 to about probably 40 cents on an upside breakout direction. But obviously that will take a little bit longer of consolidation in that instance to completely form that overall cup and handle pattern. Personally, I think based on the longer term charts, that will be one of the strongest pattern setups to actually see, especially after about 3 months here of upside gains. Would have a very nice period of several weeks retracement, being able to confirm that longer term pattern, confirm support, especially if it does kick off a bullish flipped formation of the exponential moving averages, and then be on our way once again. That's going to be one of the strongest setups, in my opinion, right now for the overall crypto space. So even, for example, even if we get a pullback around that level, would potentially be looking somewhere in the range of about a 25% pullback. But if we actually look at Fibonacci's from the bottom, for example, anyway, up to the current trend high, then we would be looking at a pullback essentially down to about the 50% retracement line, which would match up with about what we're talking about in that instance. So I think that would be our target, which also would put prices pretty much right around the 17.12 cent level. So yeah, just to go ahead and wrap everything up, I think right now, if we do get a confirmation of this flag pattern, still could see one more leg to the upside before a final longer term retracement, especially if we do get some sort of bearish or non-event announcement out of the ETF announcement that we're all anticipating for crypto. So that could be a very plausible and likely setup. But as always, any expectation is possible, could see downside, could see more upside all the way up. But eventually we do know that a retracement of some kind on the longer term charts is going to be coming. So we'll keep you updated on that on the channel. So make sure you do drop a follow and a like if you have not done so just yet, so you can stay updated on this crypto content. But so yeah, that actually is going to go ahead and wrap up the video and our little update on Algorand as we do enter the last day of the year. And Happy New Year to everyone, 2024. Looking forward to everyone and chatting with everyone, and hopefully expecting a very nice and great crypto year up ahead. Make sure to go ahead and drop me a comment down below. Do love chatting with each and every one of you on the channel or over on Twitter or X. Do appreciate all the continued love and support. As always, it does mean so much. Stay safe, take care, and I'll catch you back in the next video next year.